Give me a second. Yeah. Okay, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to see you one more time. Welcome to this session. We are going to talk about future simple tense. Okay, I'm going to do a recap, quick recap. You shouldn't see this. You shouldn't see the grades. I'm going to do a quick recap. I'm going to silence all of you just in case for a moment. Yeah, and that's it. I'm going to do a recap of what we were doing last time. So we were talking about simple future tenses, in fact, and these future tenses were four, but in this case, we are talking about only two future tenses because we have present simple, future will, future going to, and future were present progressive, but we are going to focus on only two of these future tenses, future will and future going to. So we said that with future will, we are talking about actions that are going to happen in the future, but taking into account an immediate decision, a sudden decision, a sudden situation. For example, I'll order a sandwich. That's it. Instead, going to, in parallel, in contrast, going to is used to talk about the decided plans, but these plans have already been planned. Let's be a little redundant. Have already been planned before. So we have already scheduled these activities we're going to do next week, next month, tomorrow, tonight, something like that. First parallel. Second parallel. With will, we are going to predict the future, but taking into account our experiences and opinions. So this is subjective. Instead, going to is going to express is going to predict is going to be used to predict the future again, but taking into account um, evidences. Right? This is more objective. In this case, subjective and objective. And the third difference, the third situation why the difference between will and going to is that with will we're going to express a long term, long distance future. It's going to be difficult to predict the future with will because it's we don't have the knowledge. It's too far from here. We don't have the experience. We don't have data, right? Instead, it's going to be used to predict the future again, but this future is the probability of this future to be successful, to be a fact, is higher. So because we have knowledge, we have experience, because knowledge, experience, we know somebody who knows about these topics, or maybe it's a very close future. For example, what's going to happen in the afternoon when you see the sky and you see that the sky is cloudy. There are a lot of clouds. It's a little gray. It's a little windy, so there's a lot of wind. And because you have experience, you know it's going to rain. Not in 30 minutes, perhaps, but maybe in 1 hour, 2 hours, something like that. So this is the difference between going to and will. We already studied the structure of a future will and future going to, so I'm not going to study this part. In general, we say that we are going to use a future will to talk about quick decisions, to talk about offers, promises, threats. For example, you remember the movie "I'll Be Back," right? This is a threat, or refusals. Instead, going to is used to talk about prior plans and to predict the future, taking into account evidences. So this is as another summary we can have about will and going to. But this parallel, I think, is more completed. We already did this parallel last class. So when do we use one topic and when do we use another topic. Yeah, finally, we said that will and going to are used to talk about predictions, and most of the time we use they can substitute each other. So we can say tomorrow is going to rain or tomorrow it will rain. And the meaning is going to be almost the same because we almost always substitute one in another, and there is not going to be a real difference because it's the future. We cannot predict the future. It's difficult to predict the future. We are not wizards, magicians, witches. We're not God, and so on. So we can try to predict the future, but we are not experts on that. Even if we know maths, we can try to make an approximation, but we cannot predict the future. We don't have this power to do it. Finally, we said, let's check something quickly about the structure. We said that with verb to be, with future going to, we need an adverb of time. For example, tomorrow, next week, next month, in 3 hours, in 2029, for example. This is the adverb of time, a situation that gives us an idea of when it's going to happen in terms of the future, in this case, because we're talking about the future, because an adverb of time could be also yesterday, last month, but it's obvious that we cannot say yesterday I'm going to play basketball, so it doesn't have any sense. So this adverb of time must be related to the future, if we want to use it, of course, because maybe we don't like to use it. We need a person who performs an action, in this case, like in Spanish, voy a ir a Medellín, voy a viajar a Brasil, lo que sea, whatever. So we need the verb to be that says voy a. Yo, in this case, voy a is the conjugation of be and going to. I am, she is, we are, they are, and so on. And the main verb is going to be it's going to be presented in its verb form. I mean, without conjugation: work, study, believe, create, fly, and whatever. Instead, with will, if we compare future will with simple present tense, we said that the only difference is that we are going to use this word. And this word is going to be between the main verb and the person who performs the action. And the translation of will is going to be like re, ras, ran, remos, ra, caminaré, jugarás, volará, comeremos, and so on, right? This is the translation. Re, ras, ran, remos, ra. Well, so this is the most important thing we talked about last time. Sorry, not last week, but last time. So we're going to play 2 games related to this topic. And then I'm going to show you how to create targets, because this is a topic for today's lesson. So let's go with the first game. I have 2 games. So you're going to we're going to tell me what's the difference between will and going to. So the theory is more important here. So how many apprentices are here today? Twice, so 5, okay. Let's see, let's try this. 5 minutes, yeah, it's more than enough. We have already played this game, so I'm not going to give you the instructions because you already know how this works. So I'm just going to give you the link, and as soon as most of you join the game, I'll start the game and I will skip the instructions, the instructions. The tutorial. Yeah, I was trying to remember the words. Meanwhile, why Mitch? Carolina, why Mitch?
Michelle.
Ah, okay, got it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good luck. Let's begin. You already know the rules, so good luck. Hurry, hurry. Somebody else? Good. So, Angie, what do you see?
What, teacher?
What do you see in your device? ¿Qué mira en su dispositivo? A dialogue, a shield, an hydrant, or a pet print. I don't remember the name of this word. Like a footprint, but made by an animal.
Is a text cuadro, o sea, es un cuadro de texto. No, no.
Okay. Now? What do you see?
Foca de incendio.
Okay. Now? Okay.
Huella.
Okay, we have been eaten by the animal. Okay, doesn't matter. Next time, next round. By the way, footprint es la huella, and the hydrant, el hidrante. Great, Juan David, what do you see?
Yes. And ay, no lo veo, no lo veo. And so from meat and message.
A bug? A bee? What do you see?
Messenger. And so messenger.
Do you
Okay.
a sun watch? A sun clock?
And so from for book incense. And
Okay.
so meet and waits a pet. And pet, so and so. ¡Ay! No lo veo, no lo veo.
Okay. Doesn't matter. Next, better luck next time. It's okay. Okay, third round, I guess. Oh, we don't have third round. Doesn't matter. Okay, at the end of the game, we are a shrimp. Somos un camarón. The captain is Angie with 23 seconds. Engineer is Juan David. Good. And the sailor is also Juan David. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. So I'm happy.
Groovy. Okay, let's go for another game. Also in
Yes.
Kahoot. So give me a moment.
Yes.
Yep, start.
Teacher, I have a question,
Yep, tell me.
but I speak in Spanish, okay?
Sure.
Es que he tenido problemas con esto porque me parece que no es mucha la diferencia en la descripción que hacen en la literatura del curso. Dicen, por ejemplo, que el be going to se debe utilizar cuando estamos haciendo planes o cuando hay situaciones que son ciertas, ¿sí? Y en muchas de las preguntas que fallé, aquí me parece que hay situaciones que irían con el go to, porque going to, porque son situaciones ciertas. Yo estoy cansado, o una cuestión así, estoy cansado y voy a ir a prender el aire acondicionado. Eso es una condición cierta para mí. ¿Sí me explico?
Ajá.
Pero la
en este caso,
respuesta...
sí.
¿sí? No, y la respuesta era con el will. Entonces, no me ha parecido y haciendo las prácticas en la clase, pues también tuve la misma dificultad, porque es que me parece que cuando no es evidente, pues así, pero hay similitudes y cualquiera de las dos podría estarse utilizando.
Bien. I'm going to answer to you in Spanish because you made the question in Spanish. Bien, con respecto a las preguntas, estoy casi, pues yo también hice el juego con ustedes, así que más o menos sé qué fue lo que preguntaron, más o menos, tampoco es que sea guau. La mayoría de las preguntas que salían en el juego eran preguntas de decisiones inmediatas, que es la que usted me dice en este momento. Por ejemplo, está haciendo calor. Está haciendo un calor horrible. Voy a tomar la decisión de abrir la ventana. Uf, es una decisión inmediata. Por eso decimos will. Y la mayoría salía
Sí,
con will, precisamente por una decisión inmediata.
Pero cuando tú lees la descripción en el curso, entonces te dice que son planes o que tienen la certeza de que va a ocurrir. Y el que yo digo, está haciendo mucho calor, me voy a prender pues es un evento cierto. Para mí, ¿no? Esa es mi opinión.
Sí, pero téngalo en cuenta de que esa es una cuestión subjetiva, ¿sí? Que es una decisión que yo tomo que no tenía planeado hacer. O sea, estoy así bien tranquilo, bien feliz cuando llega, no sé, golpean no sé, hace un temblor. Entonces, cojo, me levanto, una decisión momentánea, inmediata, y me pongo debajo del escritorio para que si de pronto se cae algo, no me golpee la cabeza. Eso es una decisión inmediata, ¿sí? Que no tenía planeado con anterioridad. La que usted me dice es una predicción de futuro, de qué va a pasar y yo lo tengo planeado con anterioridad. Entonces, la próxima semana me voy a ir con mi familia a, no sé, a vacacionar, a ver pueblitos, ¿cierto? Y eso lo tengo planeado con ellos. De pronto lo planeé hace media hora, pero lo tengo planeado, ¿sí? Y es lo que va a suceder dentro de unos días, ¿sí? Esa es como la diferencia entre esas dos. La una hay planeación previa, en la otra es ya, o sea, se me ocurrió hacer esto. Se me ocurrió más bien que hoy no me voy a poner la camisa roja que tanto me gusta, sino la verde. ¿Sí? Es una decisión inmediata que no tenía planeada. Es la diferencia, planeación y falta de planeación. ¿Sí? Y la otra también es que una es muy objetiva, ¿cierto? Objetiva en el sentido de going to, ¿no? Objetiva en el sentido de que la predicción que vamos a hacer con going to se basa en evidencias, en datos, en cifras, en estadísticas, en conocimiento previo. Y ese conocimiento previo pues, está fundamentado, ¿sí? Versus will está basado en una versión más subjetiva. Desde mi punto de vista, creo que va a pasar esto. Desde mi opinión, me parece que puede suceder esto. Yo creo que, no sé, el Deportivo Pasto ganará la próxima Copa Mustang. Copa Mustang creo que es ahora, ¿no? No sé, no soy bueno de fútbol. Entonces,
Yo creo que es Liga Betplay, profe.
eso, Liga Betplay. Entonces el Atlético Nacional va a ganar la Liga Betplay y el Deportivo Millonarios va a irse a la primera vez. No sé, eso va a pasar desde mi opinión porque no tengo ni idea, NPI, de lo que va a pasar. ¿Sí? Y eso es algo que no tengo ni idea. Pero sí, yo me basase en estadísticas y yo veo cómo está la tabla de posiciones y veo que el equipo amarillo está de primero, pues digo, ok, tiene más chance de que este equipo, no sé, quede campeón, me invento, ¿sí? Porque ya tengo datos. Sí, esa es como la segunda diferencia. Y finalmente la tercera diferencia decíamos que will lo utilizábamos para hacer predicciones de futuro de largo plazo, en la que no tenemos mucha información, conocimientos, datos, experiencias, como un futuro al aire. Pues eso va a pasar, no sé, viviremos en Marte. ¿Cuándo? Ni idea, pero viviremos en Marte, conquistaremos un nuevo planeta, ¿sí? Estamos prediciendo el futuro, que sea real o que no sea real, pues bueno, pues, es el futuro, nadie puede predecir el futuro, por más que intentemos hacerlo, no podemos hacerlo. En economía, por ejemplo, hay métodos econométricos que manejan estadística, matemáticas, teoría económica y un montón de cosas con pruebas económicas que se hacen, estadísticas, y nosotros tratamos de predecir, por ejemplo, cómo va a ir la inflación, si va a subir un 2%, un 1%, o se va a disparar y cosas de esas. Intentamos predecirlo, pero que sea perfecto, nada que ver. Le intentamos llegar, pero porque el futuro es incierto. Nadie tiene la bolita de cristal como para predecirlo. Intentamos hacerlo, pero no podemos hacerlo. O sea, podemos acercarnos, ¿no? Y eso es válido con cualquier futuro. Mientras que el futuro going to es más cercano, es más de corto plazo, ¿sí? Es como que aquí a la vuelta de la esquina, y entonces como es aquí a la vuelta de la esquina, es más fácil de predecir, entre comillas, ¿no? Es decir, la probabilidad de éxito de poder predecir lo que va a pasar es mayor si utilizamos going to, y la probabilidad de éxito cuando utilizamos will para predecir algo es menor. Igual son probabilidades, ¿no? Porque nadie puede predecir el futuro, absolutamente nadie. Sí, podemos intentar acercarnos, pero que podamos predecir con 100% de certeza, nada, hay cucas. Y hay algo que usted dice también es que es cierto, will y going to son muy parecidos, sí, y es por eso que en muchas ocasiones will y going to se van a sustituir. En economía diríamos algo así como sustitutos perfectos, ¿sí? Porque se pueden sustituir una cosa con otra. Es como, por ejemplo, en comida. Usted dice, dado mi presupuesto, hoy no voy a comer carne, sino que voy a comer pollo. Y no voy a comer pollo, sino que voy a comer mariscos, ¿sí? Ese es un sustituto. Entonces, y son perfectamente válidos. Normalmente, will y going to se pueden reemplazar y se pueden utilizar indistintamente. Que ya uno quiera ser estricto y que le meta las cosas ahí, que decir, bueno, es que yo soy muy, ¿cómo decirlo? Muy quisquilloso para decir que esto es lo que debo utilizar. Por eso utilizamos estas diferencias entre will y going to. Pero eso sí queremos ser increíblemente estrictos, ¿sí? Pero si ya queremos ser muy relax, por ejemplo, en mi caso, yo utilizo will y going to de manera indistinta y no le pongo cuidado a cuándo utilizar lo uno y cuándo utilizar lo otro. Ya porque debo mencionarlo es que hago esas diferencias, pero si nos vamos al inglés de calle, que hablamos con cualquier persona, utilizamos will y going to, nos va a entender perfectamente. Que si queremos ya tirarnos para un examen internacional o pero queremos ser muy específicos, muy puntuales, ahí sí le digo, vea, para eso utilizamos lo uno y para eso utilizamos lo otro. Y regresándome entonces con las preguntas, la mayoría de ellas estaban en el contexto de decisión inmediata. Me pasa esta situación, ¿qué haré? Haré esto. Se acabó el agua, ¿qué haré? Ah, bueno, entonces no cocinaré, sino que voy a ir a pedir la comida mejor, ¿sí? Ah, es que no me alcanza a bañar, listo, entonces me bañaré en la noche, o bueno, no lo sé. No alcancé a, no sé, se fue la luz, listo, entonces me iré a correr, pero es una situación inmediata en función del contexto que estoy viviendo, es algo que no tenía planeado, ¿sí? Es como, o sea, la mayoría de preguntas salieron de ese estilo, o por lo menos las que a mí me salieron fueron de decisiones inmediatas, fue, pasó esto, haré esto entonces, ¿sí? No sé si con eso responda a su pregunta, William.
No, no, tranquilo, fue muy claro y muy preciso. De verdad, muchas gracias.
My pleasure. Ahora sí, switch to English again. Let's go with the game. So this is the game. I'm going to give you the link once again. I guess I didn't give you the link before, so here is the link. So we are 5, you are 5. I'm not counting myself now. Okay, I'm going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. I'm not sure how many questions are there in the game, so... Okay, there are 16. I'm going to stop in the question number 10, okay? Hay 16, voy a parar en la 10. Good. We have planned this on Friday. Today is Saturday, so next Friday, I'm going to do this. This is a plan. I'm sure he will pass his exam. Good. Why is will? Because we are predicting the future in terms of opinions and experiences. We don't have data to predict this future. That's why we use will, because we are expressing what's going to happen in the future, taking into account my opinion. So I think, I'm sure he will pass the exam because I know him and I believe in him. That's it. But I don't have the information, the data. However, if we were not in this context, I would use both of them. I would say both of them are correct because remember that we can exchange will and going to in when we are in the street. I mean, when we are talking to a friend, we could say, "I will pass the exam." I'm going to pass the exam. So, okay, number 3. I think he. One more time. This is an opinion. This is subjective. Why is not yellow and why is it blue? Will comes. Remember that when we are using future tense, in terms of going to or will, the main verb doesn't change. I mean, it's not conjugated with S. We add S only in simple present tense. He comes, she comes, it comes. But that's in present. We are studying now the future tense. So comes is not acceptable. Come, it's okay. I think this is subjective. We are predicting the future based on our experiences and opinions. This is subjective, I think. What I think is different to what you think. Tomorrow, take into account the picture. Tome en cuenta la imagen. Okay, in this case, blue and yellow are correct. Para este caso, sin contexto, ambas son correctas. But, if you see the picture, si usted mira la pregunta, la imagen, perdón, it's not going to rain, no va a llover, está soledito. Okay. Is being sunny? No, we haven't studied this. Number 5. In the future, people live on the moon. Good. This is a distant future, remember. Will and going to are expressing the future, but will is for a distant future and going to is for a close future. So a future fact versus something is about to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow in 3 hours, sorry, in 30 minutes. It's very close. So in the future could be 50 years from now. So it's a long-term prediction. Good. I promise. Remember this, when we were talking about future tense last time, here, we said that we use future will to talk about promises, offers, requests, and threats. So I told you last time, I mentioned this to you, this farewell. See you tomorrow, in fact, is a promise. I will see you tomorrow. This is a promise I'm making to you. That's why we use will. I will study English. This is a promise I am making to myself, making to my brother, to my sister, to my best friend, or whoever I'm talking to. Number 7, in summer, my family and I travel to Australia. Are going to, good. Because, let's go back here. We are talking about plans. Express future plans decided before the moment of speaking. We already planned this. My family and I, we have already planned that we are going to travel to Australia, but now I'm telling you these plans to you now. And we planned this yesterday, for example. Okay, next. Tea or coffee? A sudden decision. Good. Yes. Remember, will is used to talk about actions decided at the moment of speaking. So immediate decisions. This is an immediate decision. Immediate decision, sorry. Number 9. There is no milk. There is no milk. The sudden decision is this. Okay, I will buy some later. Good. And let's go with the last question of this game. We probably, time to go shopping. Okay, good. Okay, at the end of the game, first place, this is for Samuel. Congratulations. Second place for William. Good. Third place for Angie. Fourth place for Juan David. And the fifth place is for Carolina Michelle. Well done. Okay, I'm going to close this because I need to mention something else to you. Okay, yes, infinitive, correct. Thank you, games. And let's go with the last topic of today's session. Remember that we said that will is used to talk about predictions of future events without evidence. So this is why this is subjective and not objective. And also to make promises. Remember these two situations because I'm going to use this to talk about the next topic. With will, we are going to predict the future. And we are going to predict the future with any kind of future tense, but I'm going to use will for this case, for this scenario. And what is this scenario? What am I talking about? I'm talking about targets and goals. Remember that the learning guide says that we are going to present a project, what we are going to do in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20, something like that. Some of you, some of your partners have already presented the activity, and they say, for example, I will travel to Brazil, I will stay in Japan, I will have my own business, or things like that, right? So in this case, we are talking about targets and goals. What you want to create, what do you want to perform, what do you want to achieve in your life. So to do that, according to neurolinguistics programming, we are supposed to create targets. And these targets we are going to create, we're going to take into account the objective is to fulfill one of these areas of our lives, because in our lives have different areas, right? We can have a spiritual fulfillment. For example, religion is important here if you are a religious person, because if you are not a religious person, it also works, because if you take care of the environment, for example, you recycle, this is part of the spiritual fulfillment. Love. For example, maybe you're single and you want to have a couple, or maybe you are single and you don't want to have a couple, and this is okay, right? Because we need love. There is a song from the Beatles that says, all you need is love, and I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. Next, physical well-being and health. What can you do with all the money in the world if you have no health and you are close to die because, for example, you have AIDS? I'm not wishing you that, but it's just to remind us that we are we are lucky. We have not. I'm pretty sure. At least this is true in my environment, but I'm pretty sure this works for you too. I'm pretty sure you're not sick. I mean, you don't have a terminal illness, right? That's what I mean. And this is something to be grateful about. We can see, we can walk, we can run, right? I guess so. I hope so. And if you prefer this, if you want to have an excellent body, for example, you do exercise, right? Because you want to have well-being and health. In fact, doing exercise and in the last a conversation club, I was talking about this, right? For example, the importance of doing exercise and so on. Relationships, we are not alone in the world. We live surrounded by people, right? And relationships are really important in our lives. In that forum, conversation club, sorry, that you are invited, of course, to be in the conversation clubs. Next Tuesday, it's about the pronunciation of a past tense, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I guess it's that. But for example, in this case, about relationships, there is a hormone that's called oxytocin. I already talked about that in this situation, and I appreciate Samuel gave me this picture. I love this. How do you get oxytocin? You get it by playing with a baby, but by playing with a dog, by giving a compliment, by holding hands, by hugging your family. And that's why, for example, dancing is so nice, because you're hugging people, especially when you're dancing, for example, bachata or salsa, because you're close to a person, and this gives you the feeling of happiness. Or when you hug your best friend, or you kiss your couple, because when you are next to a person you love, you get this oxytocin, and you feel happier in your life. So relationships are important. Obviously, you need to have good relationships, of course, not a relationship with a murderer, for example. Okay, next, fun and enjoyment. This is really important. For example, when you watch a soccer match, you're having fun. When you are watching a comedy, you're having fun. And this is very important for us. If we don't have fun, we might feel, like Dan Uribe says, we might feel neurotics. And because the Greeks thought that we need to work. Obviously, we need to work, because the society advances with work. But at the same time, we need time to enjoy life, to rest, to have parties. When you go to a party, you're having fun. And going to having a party. Okay, do you guys listen to me, ladies, gentlemen? ¿Me escuchan bien todos?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yes, I'm copying.
Okay, let's return. So the ancient Greeks thought that it's important to have an equilibrium between work, because society advances with work, and relaxing and fun. And that's why they had something called bacchanales, right? With the god Baco. The god Baco is Roman, but the Greek name, I forgot the Greek name. I'm sorry, I owe you this name. But they knew that they needed that, because if you don't have fun, you may become a neurotic person, amargado, and so on, right? Helping others, once again, with relationships, we are not alone in the world. We interact with more people. People say that when you do something for people, especially when you don't know them, especially, but not only, you feel this, you experience a feeling of happiness. The same thing happens when you hug a tree, or when you hug your couple. When you help others, there is a movie called Cadena de Favores. I don't remember the name in English. It's not a favors chain, obviously not. I don't remember the name of in English, but it's called Cadena de Favores. And this is an interesting movie because I relate it with karma. Because when you do something good for people, and indirectly, these good things return to you. Maybe not directly to you, but for somebody who you love. And remember, for example, I always compare this with part of my life. I'm sorry to talk about myself, but it's better to explain it on this way. I'm pretty sure I'm a lucky person, and I guess you are a lucky person. You're lucky too. I mean, not a lot of people have internet in the world, so we are very lucky. This is an example. I'm pretty sure you have already had dinner, or you are going to have dinner. This is something that not a lot of people can do. And about this, for example, I have received a lot of support from people around me, a lot, from teachers, from family, from unknown people, strangers, and so on. And I think a good way to retribute this is helping other people by doing your job, doing well what you have to do, for example. And this is obviously my opinion. Your opinion can be different, of course. Work. As I mentioned before, fun and enjoyment are related to work. We cannot only work, as well as we cannot only have fun. We need to have an equilibrium, and the Greeks knew this. Money. A lot of people say, or at least I have heard this a lot of times in my context, people say most of the time, money is not important. Yeah, sure, of course. Try to live with a minimum wage, having 3 kids, one wife, and only you working in a city like Buenos Aires or Bogota. Tell me how your life is going to be. It's going to be difficult, really difficult, because money is really important. It's not the only thing that matters in the world, of course not, but money influences every single thing, every single important thing in the world. Because with money, you can have a better health. With money, you can invite your couple to do things that some places that you would enjoy with her or him. With money, you can support people. For example, a lot of people say that money is the root of evil. In my opinion, that's not correct. The lack of money and the lack of education is the lack of all evil. Because education is really important, and this gives me opens the doors to this last topic, learning. There is a quote I sometimes mention in the forums, in the presentation forums, about Gabriel García Márquez, and it says, una educación desde la cuna hasta la tumba. We never stop learning. Never. And the owner of Platzi, the CEO of Platzi, Freddy Vega, says, nunca pares de aprender. Never stop learning, because there's always something new. And this is curious, and I discovered for myself, maybe it works for you, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. But when you complete a task, and we are always completing tasks, and the stronger we are, because completing a task just in your work, when you are more skilled in your work, you want to do something better, you want to do something bigger, and so on. You complete bigger tasks, and you feel more satisfied, because you are liberating dopamine in your body, right? So, and this is possible when you learn new things, because when you learn new things, you have new skills to do a better job. So never stop learning. Learning is really important in our lives. If not for you, for people around you. For example, if you have a kid, a daughter, a son, or whatever, she's not going to listen what you say to her or him. She's going to see what you do. When you learn something, when you have a lot of knowledge, experience, and so on, he or she, your sister, your student, your best friend, or your environment, your father, whatever, she's going to see that and going to learn that from you. So you better teach him, her, something good. So, according to neurolinguistics programming, we have a good life. We have an equilibrium in our lives when all these areas are fulfilled. I mean, when we have success in all these areas, in terms of spiritual fulfillment, you don't need to be a religious person to have spiritual fulfillment, because you can decide not to be a religious person. You can be an atheist, you can be a spiritual person, and you can feel fulfilled. It depends on the person, because you can be a Muslim, and a lot of Muslim people are fulfilled. A lot of Christians are fulfilled. A lot of atheists are fulfilled too. So you don't need to be something. If this gives you satisfaction and you feel completed, perfect. But it depends on every person. So people say, once again, according to neurolinguistics programming, when you have an equilibrium and you have developed all these areas, you are going to feel in your life, have success, you have good relationships, and so on. The issue is that we are humans. This is the problem. And the problem is this, because we don't have all the time in the world. We are not perfect. We are not the best in the world. We are not gods. So, because our condition, most of the time happens that when we pursue money, when we are looking for money, we neglect our physical appearance. When we go every day for 3 hours to the gym, maybe we stop learning. When we are only studying, we don't work. That's the issue. We are humans. We are not perfect. So the idea is to have an equilibrium. When we are having an issue with love, maybe we need to do something with this. If we are having an issue with our learnings, with our skills, maybe we need to spend some time here, like in seasons. We have a lot of things to do, but we must be smart enough to manage to organize our time. So, because these areas are not going to be perfectly fulfilled, because once again, we are humans, we make mistakes, we are not perfect. This is why we propose to have targets, goals, because we know sometimes something's going to miss in our lives. Maybe we are not going to have money. Maybe we are not going to have a good health. Maybe we are not going to have, we are going to be a workaholics, right? So we are not having fun, and so on. So that's why there is a proposal, and the proposal is to create targets, but not any kind of target, a smart target. SMART stands for this: specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relevant, and time scale it or timely. And all of them answer questions. I'm going to mention some examples. Yeah, dopamine. I love dopamine. So sometimes I don't sleep, but the reward is incredible. Okay. What is something specific? What's the guiding question to know when something is specific. The guiding question is this: what exactly do you want in your life for the next 5 years, to do tomorrow, with the relationship you are having? What exactly do you want? And this must be very specific, like the children. For example, when the children go to a supermarket or something and they want a toy, they are very specific and they say, they don't say, I want the car, I want the toy. No, they say, for example, I want the red and yellow Colombian, 3 feet long plastic car. Let's suppose that. This is what I want, right? They are very specific. And for some reason, I don't know why, maybe we don't want to be more specific, or maybe the society is hitting us, I don't know. But for some reason, when we get older and older and older, I mean, we get more mature, quotes, we stop being specific, and this is an issue. This is a problem. This is an example. I will study French. Groovy, great. Is this specific? Not so much. But if we say, I will start my A1 level French studies, A1, because remember that in every single language, according to the Marco Común Europeo de Referencia para las Lenguas, I don't remember the name in English, but in this case, we have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. A is basic, B is intermediate, and C is advanced. A1, because I don't know anything about French, I just know s'il vous plaît, and that's it, nothing else, and I don't even know if that's the correct pronunciation. So I will start my A1 level French studies at Alianza Francesa Cali, because Alianza Francesa can be in any city in the country or in the world. So Cali, Colombia, on March 15th, 2026. So this is very specific. I'm giving a date, I'm giving a place, I'm not going to study alone, I'm not going to study with YouTube. And this is my level because I don't know anything. This is very specific. Let's go with the next. Measurable. How will you know when you have reached it? I mean, your target, right? For example, I will reduce my weight. Can we measure this? How do we know this? How can we measure this? We don't have numbers. Numbers here are important. Maybe reduce my weight for example, let's suppose you're weighing 71 kilograms with 2 grams, 71.02 grams. So you don't eat today, and tomorrow you are going to weigh 72 grams, exactly 72 grams. You reduced 2 grams of weight. But is this what you want? For real? Only 2 grams? Maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you want something really good. You want to increase your body mass. So you increase in 0.1 gram. You increased it. Good. But is this what you want? Maybe no. So this is better. Specific and measurable. I will reduce 3 pounds. Can we measure these numbers? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 0.5, and so on. I would reduce 3 pounds of weight in the next 2 months. Can we measure this? Yes. Achievable. This is very subjective. This is very subjective because only you know your circumstances. Nobody else. Only you know how strong, skilled, powerful are you in a specific area. Only you know that. So there are 2 questions here. Is it in your power to accomplish it? Are you capable to be the next governor of your state? Maybe yes, maybe no. Are you capable to be the, I don't know, the next president of the United States of America? Is that in your power to do it? Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. Is in your power, is in your, yes, it's in your power to be, to have the next, to be the next bachata champion, world champion? Is it in your power to be it? Can you be the next bachata champion, in the world champion, sorry? Maybe yes, maybe no. But if you have never danced before, this is not going to be possible to you, right? Because this is not in your power, at least not yet. You are 45 years old and you want to be a soccer player, a professional soccer player. Is this achievable for you? Is this attainable for you? Is this possible to you? Maybe no, because to be a soccer player, you need to be in your 20s, right? Not in your 50s, not in your 70s. It's not possible, right? And once again, this depends on you, on your circumstances. Realistic and relevant. This is better. Does this, within reach realistic and relevant to your life purpose? I mean, learning mathematics supports your life purpose. Learning English supports your life purpose. Learning dancing supports your life purpose. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. Depends on you, right? Perhaps for you it's irrelevant to study biology because you don't want to study the flora and fauna of your country or your city. Maybe it is not important for you, but maybe for your daughter, for your cousin, for your brother, it is, because it depends on each person. Once again, depends on your life purpose. And here is a question, an important question for you. What do you want in your life? What exactly do you want to achieve for your life? Not for me, for you. Right? What's your life purpose? It can be a selfish purpose. It's okay. It's your life. It can be a purpose related to, and I don't know, supporting people. I don't know. Maybe you only want to have oxytocin and dopamine in your body. Perfect. It's your life. And it's not bad. You're not hurting anyone. But are your activities supporting your life purpose? Depends on you. And finally, okay, everything's good, everything's fine, everything's is nice, it's cool. But when are you going to achieve what you have promised to yourself to accomplish? Tomorrow? Next week? Next month? In 50 years? When you are not going to be able to drink water even, right? When are you going to achieve your targets? When do you want to achieve them? Because one thing is to say that I'm going to graduate from SENA in 2025. Let's suppose you are studying a technician at SENA. One thing is saying you're going to graduate next year. And one thing is to say, I'm going to graduate in 2020 never, right? It depends. When are you going to do that? This is an example. My best friends will go to Canary Islands. Good. But when? In 2025, 2026, 2050, 20 never? When exactly is going to happen? When they are still young or when they be 95 years old? It's going to be different. It's going to be very different. This is different. This is the contrast. Mariana and Carlos will go to Canary Islands on June 3rd, 2026. This has a date. And when you have a date, you have a purpose, sorry, not a purpose, you have a promise to yourselves. And who is more important than yourself? You, nobody else. What can I say? You are the most important project of your life. Maybe it's selfish, I know, but the father of the economics, the modern economics, Adam Smith said, selfishness is important in the economy. And I'm going to tell you that in another situation, in another occasion. For now, this is the important thing. It's not bad to be selfish. Sometimes it's good and it's necessary. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Okay, let's go with some examples. Let's begin with this. I want a house. Let's think if this is specific, relevant, realistic, achievable, it has a time schedule, and so on. Let's see if this target, is smart. Yeah, I'm a very existential person. I'm really existential person. Yes, of course, Michelle Bachelet. Is this specific? No, because how do you want your house? Big, small, 50 square meters, white, yellow, of good, a toy house. What is this? Is this specific? No. Maybe we could say, I will buy a big house. This is better. Not great, but it's better. And here is the verb. Look at the verb. I want versus I will. When you say I want a house, you may want anything in the world. You may want an elephant. I may want I may want to be an engineer. Maybe your sister want to get $1 million. Okay, but wanting something doesn't mean that you're going to have that, right? Maybe somebody wants a unicorn, and not for that you're going to have a unicorn, right? However, when you use will, you are promising something to yourself. Remember, we use will to make promises, to predict the future. In this case, a promise to yourself. And this makes a compromise to yourself at least, because you are the most important project of your life. If you want to believe me, great. If you don't want to follow my idea, it's okay too. This is a free country. I want you to notice the verb. I want versus I will. Will includes a sacrifice, compromise, work. This is better, in my opinion. Because if you want something, maybe you are not going to have anything. But if you use the verb will, you are going to work and you are going to have results. Maybe not the results that you want, but you are going to have results. And with the results, you are going to have feedback. And this is the important part. This is better. I will buy a 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 120 square meters, modern white concrete house. Is this a specific? Oh yes, because this is the material, because I don't want it in good. This is white. I don't want it in gray or yellow or black. I don't want something old. I want a modern house. And even a house. I don't want an apartment. And this is the size of this house, 120 square meters. I don't want it smaller. And I'm sure, because I am going to receive some visitors sometimes, or maybe I want to have 2 kids, and I'm going to sleep with my wife. Let's suppose I have a wife. I will have 1 bedroom for me, 1 bedroom for my son, and 1 more bedroom for my daughter. So 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms it is. I don't want something smaller. This is more specific than saying just a big house. What is a big house? For you, a big house, maybe it's a house of 50 square meters. For another person is 70. For another person is 90. For another person is 3,000 square meters. Maybe you are a tycoon, right? Maybe. Let's continue. Measurable. Can we measure this? Yes. With 3 bedrooms and the square meters and the money. how much money are you going to pay for this house? You have a budget of 180 million pesos. Can we measure money? Of course, of course. In Colombian pesos, because it's not going to be Chilean pesos, it's not going to be dollars, it's not going to be Canadian dollars, and so on. Rupees, right? Is this achievable for you? Maybe. Perhaps 180 million pesos is too much. Maybe for another person is not too much. Maybe it's something easy. Depends on every person. Realistic. Can we find this place? Can we find this place? Because one thing is to have this house in a far, 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 far away kingdom without people, maybe in the city of Detroit in the United States of America, a broken city. Maybe you're going to find this, but perhaps you don't want to be there. Perhaps you want this house in a city like Medellin, but not in any part of Medellin, because you're not going to be in a complex, poor, and a dangerous neighborhood, right? This is better. In Alameda neighborhood in the city of Cali. This is realistic. Maybe you're not going to find something in this neighborhood in Cali. Maybe you need something in Salomia, or maybe next to the I don't know, in the north, in the south, whatever. I don't remember names of Tequendama. I don't remember names of neighborhoods in Cali, so I'm sorry. But this place exists. This neighborhood exists. This money, maybe yes. For this money, maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe we need to increase or reduce the price, maybe. And finally, that's cool. We already know what we want to achieve. That's great. The question is, when are we going to have this? By the year 2029. We have 5 years to achieve this goal. So this is specific. We can measure with money most of the time, but not always. Is this achievable for you? Maybe yes, maybe no. You have to play with the numbers. Is this realistic, or maybe is this important for your life purpose? Having a house. I think having a house or an apartment is important for every person, right? So this is, I think, relevant for everybody. And the time, are we going to have this in 2029? Okay, we have 5 years, so I think it's possible. But this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of this part. Something else is missing. Maybe we have already planned everything, and that's great, because not a lot of people planned. So that's why not a lot of people have results. Something else is missing. Actions. Thomas Edison used to say, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, by the way, just to remember this. Thomas Edison used to say 99% of expiration and 1% of inspiration. Because the most important thing is to work. Okay, we already have the inspiration, and this takes a lot of time. Yes, because creating targets is not easy. It takes time, and it's hard. I know for experience. But this is only the first step. There are more steps. And here comes in my opinion, the most exciting, maybe the hardest, but the most exciting steps. The actions. Take actions, because if we don't take actions, we are having nothing. There is a saying that one coach said to me some years ago, and I'm going to mention it in Spanish because it's better on this way. And I start quotes. Saber y no hacer nada es lo mismo que no saber. Closing quotes. if you don't act, if you don't take action, it's like you didn't know anything. You need to know, you need to do an action. And my proposal, once again, is to take actions, smart actions. I mean, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. There's an example. My family, but what's your family? Who is a part of your family? My mom, my dad, my mom, my sister, and I. Okay, we are 4 in the family. Good. This is specific. We'll save 1.2 million pesos monthly. So can we measure this? Yes, 1.2 million pesos. Yes, divided in 4. So this is 300,000 pesos each. So we can measure this. Achievable. Is this possible to achieve, to reach this amount of money monthly? Maybe 1.2 million pesos for me, only for me, is not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard. But if I'm not alone, 300,000 pesos each month working, if my dad is working, my mom is working, my sister is working, and I am working, and all of us have the discipline to save 300,000 pesos each to buy our first house, this is possible. I think this is attainable, right? Realistic, and does it accomplish our target of a life purpose? I guess everybody wants to have a house or an apartment. I think so. And finally, during the next 5 years, do we have the time? Yes. So we're going to save 60 months for 60 months. And this is with calculator, because this is even better when we have numbers. That's why numbers are important in our lives. So 1.2 million pesos times 12 months times 5 years equals 72 million pesos, right? We are going to save with constant prices. We are not taking into account the inflation. We should, but we are not for now, for something easy. But we are going to save 72 million pesos in 5 years, right? But our house has a price of 180 million pesos a year. 180 million pesos, the whole house. So 180 minus 72 million pesos equals 108 million pesos. We need this money to ask for a loan to buy this house. So, as you know, the bank, and depending on your historical on your history in terms of credits, the bank is going to lend you more or less money, but the bank is going to lend you up to the 70% of the value of the property. So how much is that? So we multiply 180 million pesos times 70% times 77, and the bank is going to be able to lend you 126 million pesos. We are going to save 72 million pesos. We needed 108 million pesos. So do we need all this money? I guess no. Let's suppose we only need the 60% of the value of the house. So times 6 equals, yeah. We only need the 60% of the value of the money. We need to ask for a loan of the 60% of the value of the money. So is it possible for us to get this house in 5 years, taking into account that we are having constant prices, not taking into account the inflation? Yes, so this makes, with maths, an achievable target. This is possible to get. But we need to make the plan, the planning to do this. So this is an example of how to create targets, taking into account SMART, the methodology SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time scale. I suggest you to create your own targets, taking into account this model. This is for you to achieve goals in terms of learning, money, work, fun, and so on. And this is how life becomes interesting, and you get achievements, and that's in my opinion, the purpose of life: having fun, enjoy, and being happy. How do you get happy? With hormones. What kind of hormones? Oxytocin, dopamine, and that you obtain dopamine by achieving by completing tasks, by achieving goals, by having wins, by taking self-care activities. So that's why being selfish is good. Not all the time, but good. When you have money, you can share this with your family. So you can play, you can hug them, you can spend time with them. Everybody likes to be with their family. So this is just an opinion, but related to how to create targets. And once again, everything is related with the future wheel. One more thing before I leave. In the summary, I'm giving you some guiding questions for you to create your own targets. This is my proposal for you. I'm not going to correct this. I'm not going to check it because this is not for me. This is for you. But I suggest you to create your own targets for your lives, not for me, for you. And being said that, I'm going to give you one more thing. And this last one thing are 2 videos related to this part I mentioned to you. How to create targets. These are 2 videos, and the videos have some questions for you to complete them. Don't send them to me. You don't need to send them to me. This is only for you to practice this topic and for you to learn something else about English. Okay, that's it. If you have questions, let me know them right now. If no, that will be all for today, ladies and gentlemen.
No. So form is perfect and copy. Yes.
Groovy. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for coming. I will see you next week, last week of the course. So have an excellent night and take care.
Okay. Goodbye.